I want to talk to you about the state of play and
Man, what a combination of two absolute units. Holy Mother of God. I don't know who's faker. More carefully curated their entire personal identity. My goodness.
what you see happening.
Chat, let's see the real reason Gen Z won't take a 95. Let's see what the real reason is. I wonder, chat, what do you think the real reason is nobody likes 95s? Let's hear these intellectual giants.
In the politics of our economy. But tell people, you're young yourself. What is your background, and what do you think got you to where you are?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. You know, like many Americans, I went into a ton of debt. Right when I turned 18, it's like the first thing you do. My parents said, max out a credit card to get the piano I wanted because I wanted to go be a music major at school, which also means I should go borrow all the student loans in the world to be a music major at school, which also means I need to borrow a lot of money for a car to get to school, and then max out all the different credit cards.
Oh, it's as if the system is not designed to integrate young people who want to educate themselves into it. Quite to the contrary, education is an excuse created by the system to get you further in debt, not to make you a more contributing member of society, which again is a systemic issue. But I'm guessing they're going to call it some sort of moral failing of the kids. That's probably where it's going. Too many art degrees. Yeah, he's like, why did I want to study piano? I should have wanted to study El Big Plumber.
Credit cards I can open to pay for food while I'm at school. And then, of course, I borrowed from the family a little bit, got some Sallie Mae private student loans. So it was an absolute mess. And I just sat down one day and realized in my crappy little apartment that I could barely afford that this was not the life for me. I needed to figure out how to get out of it. I started consuming all the media I could on personal finances, all the books, listening to the experts. And I worked my way out of it. I got a sales job that paid $30,000 a year when I was like 24 or so.
First job at 24? What?
And I just grinded to the top of that sales team, bringing in six figures, all from learning how.
What the fuck were you doing before being 24? You just lived on loans and tried to study, which you never graduated?
It works, paying off the debt, smallest to largest, saving up an emergency fund.
You managed to pay off all that debt with $30,000 a year. Okay, you grinded to the very top of that sales position, and they started giving you $100,000 a year. No, that does not exist.
Putting a down payment down on a house, riding the COVID housing market.
You cannot increase your income by 400% through promotions. That's actually physically impossible. I have never met anybody who worked in a job where if you stay in that one job and you just grind hard, you will be able to make 4x what you made originally. 3.5x, that is impossible. You can only do that, and it's very difficult even in that case, but you can only do that by changing positions, changing companies continuously. Maybe he did commission sales. Okay, commission sales you can. You gotta be very good, I guess.
Building a rental property portfolio.
Okay, then good job. If you think it's commission sales and you manage to sell a lot of shit, then he immediately became a parasite, maybe becoming a landlord. There we go.
And accumulating $250,000 net worth before starting the show. And I thought, I want to have the conversation that I wish someone had with me when I was a dumb 18-year-old so that I can help these people get out of debt and actually change their lives.
Unironically, I would love to see how he rode the mortgage market, the property market, with $250,000 in savings. Or wait, he didn't even have them by then.
Riding the COVID housing market, building a rental property portfolio, and accumulating $250,000 net worth before starting the.
Yeah, okay, that's impossible. You cannot become a landlord with multiple properties if you're making $100,000 a year. Maybe your multiple properties are what, garages? How about my house at 25? Be fiscally responsible. Don't indulge in luxury, work hard, and have that grind set, a small loan of $1 million from a parent's type shit. Maybe he didn't get them. Okay, maybe he genuinely improved at work when he started the sales job. Maybe making $100,000 a year after probably what, like 5-6 years at least, allowed him to pay off his loans. Let's even believe that by himself he had $250,000 saved. You cannot build a real estate portfolio, even if you wanted to be the biggest landlord parasite, with that amount of money. That's chump change. Like one room dormitories in butt nowhere in the States. Like you can't, like, and the pace at which your money would come back. This doesn't, like, it's impossible. Like, well, how many But maybe I don't know something about the American property market. I don't know.
so that I can help these people get out of debt and actually change their lives and see the other side of that dark tunnel that I got to see myself.
Good for you for giving them the how-to. Help me with a generational perspective that is also an indictment of people on the left right now, which is you don't want to work. They don't want to do what you did. They don't want to grind it out. Do you believe that this generation or any generation is anti-work, or do you think it's about the reflection of how they feel the system will enable or restrict any kind of advancement?
Yeah, I'd say for Gen Z specifically, we're seeing a couple things in the data and in the anecdotal examples on my show. I think they do want to work, but they don't really like the traditional 9 to 5. They see the TikTokers, the YouTubers, the creators out there that have built their lives by making content, and the hustlers, and they consume that hustle content. I think they want to be their own business people. They want to be entrepreneurs. They want to build something. That's harder to get into, unfortunately, compared to a 9 to 5, but they want to work. They just want to work their own way. Now, on the other side of things, a lot of Gen Z get stuck in this doom loop. What is the point of paying off student loans? What is the point of saving when I'm never going to be able to get a house? I'm never going to be able to save up an emergency fund, pay off the credit cards. What's the point?
Like including him, yeah. People don't want to do a 9 to 5 because there is an alternative job market that seems to be much more enjoyable than the 9 to 5. And this is something very Gen Z. This has not existed before. Rock stars have not existed before. Movie stars have not existed before. Ballet dancers have not existed before. The local guy that runs around with a group of medieval musicians has never existed before. Every single fucking generation has had alternative means of, let's say, gaining wealth and prosperity without having to engage in the classic, the domineering form of labor that that particular society had as a domineering field of labor. A bard, there we go. The reason we feel like Gen Z really doesn't want 9 to 5s right now, and why to an extent they do not want 9 to 5s right now, is because of the particular material conditions they find themselves in which they can compare directly to the success rates of their parents. They can see and are informed enough and educated enough, arguably more educated than almost any generation before, what pursuing a 9 to 5 lifestyle will lead them to. And they simply say, okay, this is not for me. Statistically, the chances of me building a life that I truly enjoy by pursuing this 9 to 5 approach is not for me. How do they know that? Because they happen to be one of the most educated generations in the world, and because they happen to find themselves in that very particular spot between their boomer adjacent parents and the younger millennials that have come before them, where they can literally learn from the mistakes of others of what happens. It is because they are in late stage capitalism, in which what you can achieve with a 9 to 5 is very different than what you could achieve with a 9 to 5 40, 50, or God forbid 60, 70, 6, 7 years ago. So it's a combination of very normal organic conditions that have made them more skeptical, because there are more reasons to be skeptical. Younger Gen Zers don't want to fall for the shit that most millennials have fallen for, which was, do everything the right way. Don't be a bully. Study really hard. Go to a nice high school. Go to a nice college. Stay loyal to one particular firm. They're definitely gonna keep giving you more and more money, etc., etc., etc. The Zoomers are not falling for that shit that the millennials unfortunately had fallen for. That's pretty much why. It's not because content creators exist, because alternative ways of making it rich really quick exist. Oh my God. Never existed in the history of humanity. Also, none of them are 9 to 5. It's like 8 to 6 exactly. Follow the rules of capitalism and everything will be fine. The system works, sir. Yeah, a lot of us have worked ourselves to the bones for pennies, so major props that they're not falling for it. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, they are not better or worse than any other generation either. These particular conditions, which to put them in one sentence is pretty much disillusionment, okay? A disillusioned generation, like the one that the Zoomers are, can also facilitate a lot of what, chat? A lot of right-wing mentality. That's why Gen Z is super fucking right-wing as well. It can facilitate hatred. It can facilitate reactionary explanations of why we are so disillusioned. We are disillusioned because I can't command the woman. We are disillusioned because my parents didn't have to deal with this many immigrants. We are disillusioned, blah, 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 blah. Any crisis is exploited by the right, including this one. That's why they are so conservative as well. But yes, as always, I'm sorry this is boring, but it is material conditions, material conditions, and material conditions. I worked doing fucking insulation for years, getting paid 20 cents per square foot. Fucking crazy. That shit woke me up quick. Yep.
They see the TikTokers, the YouTubers, the creators out there that have built their lives by making content.
Also, I love how they see the content creators, which sure, absolutely have much easier lives doing something they very often really, really love doing, like myself. That's why I should subscribe. Haha. Hello, wage laborer. Give your money to the content creator. We're definitely part of the same team. Huzzah. I'm being self-ironic here, but yes, of course, you can view the content creator and be like, oh, look how chill that his thing is. I want to try and be him. But you also look at the billionaire and now the trillionaire and say, I'm never gonna be him. Why even fucking try? The second you understand that you are being financially cucked every time you clock in, of course you're gonna work far less. It's called class motherfucking consciousness, bitch. It was one thing for me to get shanked by a millionaire 50 years ago. Now I'm working for a fucking trillionaire as my 401k is also being siphoned over into his pyramid scheme. There are so goddamn many reasons why they are disillusioned. But it's on us to try and bring them to the light side, as they say, instead of allowing for the fascists such as this one, not fascist, but whatever, such as this one, to steal them from us. Also, COVID has shown that the only thing stopping a more flexible work arrangement, like work from home and flexible hours, is the need to control the uses bosses have. Absolutely.
Pay off the credit cards. What's the point? I may as well just go swipe and get that La Boo Boo. May as well go swipe and get that extra side of fries delivered right to my house. I'm never going to get ahead. But that's not the reality. We do know for young generations, there are three main categories that have raised in prices. That is housing, buying a house specifically, cost of school, because we allow people to borrow infinitely for whatever degree they want, and then healthcare, which is a beyond complicated subject. Besides that, actually going out to eat, getting food delivered, getting groceries, and most anything else outside of those three categories have actually fallen as a percentage of household spending for this generation compared to previous generations. So it's not all bad, but there is a lot
Yeah, I love the fact that we've increased efficiency of production, which has not also led to the increase of salaries being depicted as a positive because things now do cost less. So things cost less because we became more efficient in producing them and because we're getting paid less to produce them, which is supposed to make us feel less of the pain of our mortgage, even though we do not have access to them in the first place. Incredible logic.
Layering that is scary. And it's not surprising that they feel pretty doomed about the future, so they may as well just swipe.
They feel pretty doomed about the future, so they might as well swipe, yes. That's the pitch they will give you. There is no such thing as the center, chat. There is only people that dissuade you from looking for alternatives to this particular system. Is he arguing some shit like your flat screen TV is now super cheap? Cool, I guess. Yes, that's what he's arguing. Our food is getting more expensive. Even if your food was not getting more expensive, housing is so expensive that all other habits of consumption are irrelevant because of the gap in the price increase. Food is out of control. Food is also out of control, but that's what I'm saying. Even if it wasn't, it will be fine. It's bleak.